Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 4th, and thanks for joining me. This is the Siloed Wealth Management video blog, and what we talk about is the markets. We talk about sectors, we talk about stocks, we talk about a lot of different things, and hopefully you get a little bit of education while we talk about these things. And speaking of education, I have a great event tonight. It is a webinar that's going to talk about a lot of different things. Most importantly, what happened the first 6 months. It's going to be the 2016 Siloed Wealth Management halftime report. But not only are we going to talk about the first half of the year, we're going to talk about what happens politically going forward. Does the economy look like it possibly can go into a recession? What is in store for the stock market? And some strategies to basically navigate through this really kind of confusing market, because you really don't know what's going to happen. Look, last month was pretty good for stocks. The month of July found that S&P 500 and the major averages up about 4%. And you really have to say that, you know what, we had a pretty good earnings season. That's why stocks rallied. But what do investors have to look forward to over the next several months? The election. Well, we know how that so far is turning out. We don't know, we'll have an idea who's going to win. The stock market has an idea, and they're handicapping who they think is going to win. But the bottom line is, really, nobody likes these candidates. That's it. I mean, you're really going to vote for the one that you really dislike the least. So we're not sure how the market's going to take that once November actually comes. But, you know, I still think that we're a little bit lofty valuation-wise. And yes, guidance for these corporate earnings going forward wasn't too bad. However, it doesn't seem like revenue growth is there. That's sales. So you have a company that, yes, their earnings maybe beat expectations, maybe improved from last year, but for the most part, most earnings did not improve from last year. They were down from last year. They were just better than expected. And sales really were on the decline. So how do companies do that? Well, they cut costs. They buy back stock. When you're an enormous company and you say, you know what we're going to do? We've got a ton of cash on the sideline. Like Apple's got $231 billion with a B dollars. About 1/3 of their company is in cash. What they'll say is, you know what, let's buy back some stock. Let's spend $10 billion, $20 billion, whatever that number is, and buy back stock. So what does that do? That shrinks the shares outstanding. And when you come out with an earnings per share, it actually grows those earnings because it's growing them based on less shares out there, or less shares outstanding. So that's what we're seeing here. We really need to see some organic growth. We want to see some companies that are increasing their revenue. So we'll see. But it looks like growth in the second half of the year is certainly going to be better than the first half of the year for our economy. Now, this morning wasn't a surprise, but the Bank of England lowered their interest rates 25 basis points. And why do you think? Well, just a month and a half ago, the Brexit vote, which is the exit from the EU, the UK exiting the EU. I know a lot of initials there, but what I'm talking about, the United Kingdom exiting the European Union. So the Bank of England is a little concerned that, hey, our economy is really at a snail's pace right now. It's growing, but slightly growing. So they have to do some stimulus and some easing to try to get that economy going again. So they're lowering interest rates. That's expected. We knew that because the pound has been getting killed. So if you want to go travel to England, by the way, it's a great place. I've been there. It's really a lot of fun. If you want to go, now's a pretty good time because their currency has dropped 20% in the last few months. So, you know, that may help that region. And you still have a lot of problems in Greece. You still have a lot of overseas problems. So I'm not saying that they're going to knock the cover off the ball. And I still think international investing may be a place to be. Right now, we're not really very much invested internationally. It hasn't been a great place over the last year. So going forward, it's a wait and see. I think you have to be cautious on any buy. On any buy, you got to be very cautious and try and put some sort of protection, put a stop underneath it, or just give yourself some threshold of pain. You know, you may buy a mutual fund and say, you know what, I put in $20,000. I'm only going to tolerate a $2,000 loss. And when you see it gets down $2,000, you sell it and move on. That's the way it has to be because you don't know. I don't see a bear market in store, but I do see a little bit of a pullback, a slight correction. Not even sure it's going to get in correction mode, but certainly I think we're going to digest last month's earnings, gains, and we're in a really bad time of the year. August and September, historically, the worst months of the year for the stock market. So why try to be a hero? So we've done some selling over the last week or so, just in preparation, raising our cash levels. Again, we're not selling everything, but we're selling and taking some pretty good profits across the board. All right. So again, my event tonight, and we've talked about, it's a great event, the 2016 halftime report. I'm going to talk about politics, a lot of great things. All you have to do is click on the link below to sign up. It starts at 7 o'clock. I would log on 6:45, make sure all the software works, and it's going to be about an hour. We'll open it up to questions, and I think it'll be very informative. And you know what? Certainly worth the price of admission, which is free. Hey, I'm Lee Seiler. Thanks for joining. Please share this video. It's got great information, and share this webinar because I think everybody can benefit from it. It's, last week we did Investing 101. We're going to do the same webinar, the halftime report, next week, but then after that, the timeliness is no longer there. So we're doing it only 2 weeks only, tonight and a week from tonight, both at 7 o'clock. Click on the link below and sign up, and it will send you an email and show you how to do it. All right? Again, Lee Seiler, thanks for joining me. You guys have a great day.